Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, let me give you a little update from the front. See how the coalition is fighting the sole Russian people or Russian nation, because this is what's going on here. It's a coalition of, I don't know, some tens of countries. It's not one country, it's tens of them. More than 10, I think more than 20, more than 30 if you look at the sanctions and all that, against one country, Russia. For good reasons, right? Yes. So, let's see. This article comes from Ukrinform and it's from today, the 29th of November 2022. Armed forces of Ukraine down enemy Su-25, Su-24 aircraft. Over the past day, the armed forces of Ukraine shot down enemy Su-25 and Su-24 aircraft. This is stated in the report of the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine as of 6 a.m. November 29th, posted on Facebook. And I'm quoting, "The Russian occupiers focused their efforts on restraining the actions of the defense forces of Ukraine. The enemy is redeploying personnel and military equipment, the units that suffered losses. It is expected redeployed from the territory of the Republic of Belarus after they acquire combat capabilities." Over the 24 hours, the Ukrainian troops repelled Novoselivske, Bilohorivka in Luhansk region, Serebrainka, Verkyask, Bilohorivka, Vlivka, Pervomaiske, Opitie, oh my god, in Donetsk region. The on the positions of Ukrainian troops and populated brought the troops, there's still troops over there. Russians are hitting only populators because they're criminals. Remember, terrorists. There is still a threat of Russian missile strikes on critical infrastructure facilities throughout Ukraine. In Volyn and Polisia directions, the situation has not changed significantly. No signs of the formation of enemy offensive. In Siversky direction, mortar and artillery shelling was recorded in Senkivka, Chernihiv region, Seredinia Buda, Novovolodymyrivka. Where do you live? In Novovodilidimivka. Are you gonna come and visit me in Novovolodymyrivka? Yes, okay. When Jesus, right? Restkovich Suny region, in Slobozansky region, the areas of the settlements of Strilecha, Staristia, and about other ones, and Ambarne in Kharkiv region came under mortar and rocket artillery fire. In Kupiansk direction, the enemy defends previously occupied lines. What the hell this sentence is? In Kupiansk direction, the enemy defends previously occupied lines. Okay, I got it now. The invaders fired artillery of various types on the area of Bolohivka, Kamyanka, Kupiansk settlements in Kharkiv region. In Liman direction, let's see if these guys are still conducting offensive operations. So in Liman directions, the enemy focuses its main efforts on conducting offensive operations. Still, the Russians fired artillery on the areas Makivka, Nevtske in Luhansk region. Now, they also did this in the Donetsk region, the offensive operations, they stayed here. In Bakhmut and Avdiivka directions, let's see if this offensive operation still goes on. the Russian occupiers continue to focus their main efforts on offensive operations. So we have Bakhmut, Avdiivka, Liman. It used to be Novopavlivka. Let's see if that's going to be next. So in Bakhmut and Avdiivka, they focus their main efforts on offensive operations. The objects in the area of Serebryanska, Spirne, I'm guessing, Bakhmutskie, Bakhmut, Opitnie, Adviivka, Kurdimivka, Vesele, and a lot of other ones. And in Donetsk regions were hit with tanks and artillery. So tanks always, when you hear tanks, is offensive, not defensive. Not always, but overwhelmingly. In Novopavlivka direction, the enemy fired artillery on the areas of Vuhledar and about 5 more settlements in Donetsk region. No tanks, no offensive operations there. In Novopavlivka, there were no offensive operations in the past, I would say, week. But Liman came as an offensive operation. Bakhmut and Avdiivka remained operations where the Russians are supposedly advancing, or at least conduct offensive operations, but I don't see any results, or at least they don't say anything. In Zaporozhye direction, the occupiers defend themselves. The Russians fire mortars, tube and rocket artillery on the positions of the defense forces of Ukraine and the populated settlements of the region, which are not far from the contact line. The civilian infrastructure of Dnipro city was hit with enemy missiles. They still have them. In Kryvyi Rih and Kherson directions, the occupiers hold positional defense, fire artillery on Ukrainian troops and populated settlements, it goes without saying, on the right bank of the Kherson. In the temporary occupied territory of Luhansk region, the occupiers carry out the so-called nationalization of agro-industrial enterprises, in particular in the settlements of Bilokur. Harvest and equipment are taken away from local agriculture companies. The enemy continues to suffer losses. A strike on the area of deployment of Russian units in the town of Svatove, Luhansk region, was confirmed. According to preliminary information, the enemy lost killed and more than 30 wounded. In the territory of Kherson region, the enemy is strengthening the administrative police regime. Do you remember who has a martial law? Is gonna have it until March 25th, 2023, from February 25th, 2022? Yeah, that's you. So you talk about the police regime. This is an army regime. You move, you get shot. It is planned to replace some units of the armed forces. In the past day, the aviation of defense forces of 3 strikes on the area of personnel, weapons and military equipment of the Russians, the evil Russians. So this is the general on the front. Basically, the Russians are operating an offensive manner in 3 areas, and Ukrainians don't do anything but shell back. They do not conduct any offensive operations according to their statements. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.